Pokemon Academy Life as we catch up. Last episode, we dealt with two more growths. I know you guys are getting tired of these. Don't worry. I'm getting to the meat and potatoes. I'm almost there. We just got the coordinator shit started. I talked to Brendan and freaking Jasmine recently. We're ready to build the points. We're almost there. Just be patient. The next episode or more, maybe another episode or two, we might actually be back to where we were. I don't think I'll be able to get through all these freaking socializations because we got Calem, Brendan, Wally, we got Gardenia, Dawn. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to fit all these guys in before, and freaking the girl, B. And Janine, bro, we got a lot of people. We might be having to mix these into the episode where we're catching up and shit. So yeah, we don't know. So, but for now, you know, we gotta do our rank up with Calem. We just had that freaking Serena one. So if y'all check that out, y'all gotta check that shit out. That shit was pretty cool. Now, anyway, let's dive into Calem. Pause.
Hey, yo.
Oh, hey, Calem. Sai senpai, have you and Serena engaged in conspiracy to get me a date? Oh shit. Wow, we're starting off like that. We're starting off like that. Uh-oh. Well, shit. I know. I need not tell you why. That's incredibly silly. Y'all hear this music? I don't know if y'all hear it. It's really somber, but it sounds like Lemoy City's music, I think, right? Hey, it's nice and somber, bitch. That's nice. I'm right there with you, man. Serena kind of force of willed me into it. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Sai, I understand your intentions were benign, but you must also understand that this was a bit condescending, no? Yeah, I get that. I am no wide-eyed schoolboy fresh from Michaelo's countryside, I assure you. I am more capable than handling my own romantic pursuits or lack thereof. Calem, I promise I know. You're preaching to the choir. It's Serena who needs to be told this, which I am very intent to do, possibly tonight. But you are a man in the front of me right now. Okay, well, like I said, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Thank you. I apologize for my brusqueness. It was probably deserved. Nonsense. Good manners are the bare minimum you should be able to expect in return for your efforts. Not sure these particular efforts warrant it, but thanks anyway. Although now feels like the best time to ask, and I kind of have to. What's your situation with Serena? At the present or in the past? Both, I guess. I am loath to answer a question with a question, but I suppose I must ask if you're asking because you have an interest in her. In a romantic sense, that is. Bitch, you can't just put me on the spot like this. Okay? I mean, I'm not obviously romantically invested in Serena, even if I kind of do in a way. But no, we can't be that way. I mean, technically speaking, we kind of just want to know either way. Don't worry about that. Just tell me. Very well. I met her when I wonder what would have happened if we had picked the other option. But we're not. We're keeping this straight ahead. I met her when I moved to Vanderville town when my art mentor's health began to fail, and city life began too much for her. This was, late 2001, I believe. I didn't know much about her as I understood it. She was another Colossian, somebody I'd simply never seen before. I lived in Lemoy City for many years. It was definitely possible I'd overlooked her as a child. As a man, though, it was impossible to overlook her. Oh, look at that. Look at his face. Look at this shit. You would have said some shit like, hey, I wanted to have a romantic interest in her. He would have gave you a negative. Look at this man. She was, yes, gorgeous, intelligent, generous, funny, and so dreadfully ambitious. I worried that if I looked away for a moment, I would look back to see her occupying the prime ministership. Smitten does not begin to cover my thoughts. I had loved before, but when I saw her for the first time, I fell in love. I could not begin to tell her how ardently I admired and loved her. I thought of her first thing in the morning when I woke. She was my last thought before I laid my head to rest. Wow. Yeah, but look at my boy's face. That's my face right now, bitch. I'm flustered for him. Wow. I just learned more about her and you than I think I ever knew before. Your understanding of Serena and Calem increased. But like, dude, I thought you didn't like her. And yet, between the two of us, I am considered a weaker actor. What happened, man? I grew up. I saw that sorts of priorities I needed to dedicate my life to, and knew that I could not address them within the same lifetime that I would devote myself to Serena. Come on, what do you mean by that? You've met her. You understand surely. I cannot live a life where I claim to love her, but she does not receive all the love I wish to give her. It's not an all or nothing thing, man. She likes you. She'd be happy to have whatever you can give. I trust your counsel and know your intentions are good, but you cannot speak for her. What would keep you so busy anyway? So busy you couldn't pay attention to this woman you love more than anything. Not more than anything. There is one thing I love more. Carlos, my home, Belle Terre. To preserve it is my greatest goal, and it will take a lifetime or at least half of one. Are you familiar with the Lysandre Labs incident? Doesn't ring a bell. In 2002, a businessman of some prominence in the region, Lysandre Fuladari, announced his intention to destroy the region. What? The whole region? And much of the surrounding area, including Gala and Paldea. He claimed he would use some sort of weapon to do this, something from history's pages long forgotten. Clearly he was quite mad. Nothing he promised come to pass, and he was arrested very shortly after his proclamation. I'm sensing a however. Acute of you, I'm afraid. However, Lysandre was a very involved public figure. He was seen talking with our champion at length. He invented the Holocaster, the primary method of communication in Kalos. Far worse is that his second in command was one of the Elite Four. Her position still has yet to be filled. Tianta has received much heat for that. People have lost faith in the government, in the people that we relied on and expected. The region is on edge, and a push in either direction could decide its fate. At the same time, there are no opportunists from other regions attempting to warp the narrative and influence the media in our country, breaking down order and trust. At the risk of losing my political veneer, far too much of the Kalosian populace's opinions on the government is formed by Galerian television. I believe my countrymen can handle the cleanup efforts from within. I do not seek to be a politician, but the sense of isolation, of relying too greatly on internal strongmen, is what caused this. To do right, we must look outwards. Carlos cannot recover from the state alone. Strong bonds, alliances, and friendships between people who may think, speak, and look entirely different are all the key. To save the region I love, I must forsake me. I will be on call at all hours of the night. I will shake hands with those whose hands have never felt dirt, and those whose hands are bloody. I will say what I need to bring people together, all for the sake of getting them to the same table. I will be the mouthpiece for hundreds of arrogant, egocentric, avaricious politicians who would rather their people starve than admit fault. Do you understand, Sai? This is what I have devoted my life to, sacrifice and sublimation of the self. Serena deserves better than to love a known entity, and one who could rarely attend to her in any case. I understand. I'm not sure I agree, but only you can decide what your priorities are, so if this is the only path that you can be satisfied with, then that's that. Bless you, Sai. I, myself, am blessed to have in company two individuals so charming and empathetic. Flatterer. Sacrifice is art. Art is sacrifice. I guess that's implied by the last thing, yeah. The words of my art mentor, a brilliant painter, I suspect, as did my parents, that I would go to art school when I elected to pursue a career in diplomacy. Ha! They were quite upset. I'm sure you can see the irony. The prodigal son veering off the path of an artistry laid before him to pursue international relations seems rather the inverse of the common theme. Are your parents artists? Aggressively so. They're part of an artist commune that has very liberal views on relationships and intellectual rights, incidentally. There are, of course, two parents that I can trace my lineage to, but it would not be wholly incorrect to say I had at least 7 parents. Whoa, Carlos is a... Please do not attribute this to Carlos as a whole. My parents are very much a special sort. Come to think of it, given their anti-societal views, I suppose, I've always played the role of the rebellious teenage son, with my keen interest in governmental work. Even in my art, I was somewhat of a black sheep. I became quite blessed to blase or blast, I think it's blase, to nude portraiture very eagerly. I prefer landscapes, buildings, man-made marvels. Ha! When the rest of my playgroup would paint Tinkalari and Rapidash, Florides, and other fantastic sights, I wanted to paint the coffee shop I passed by every day on my way to my lessons. Dude, this is hilarious and adorable. You're the edgy goth kid, except you went counterculture. Adorable. Well, be that as it may, my culturality was certainly not a conscious choice. Perhaps it is simply the nature of children to think their parents are absolute dorks and strive for something else. What about you, Sai? Are you the apple that fell far from the tree? In the sense that I'm still alive, well, my dad is, pretty bad at that. My sympathies, I'm sure he was a good man. As far as I know, he went down with the Cinnabar. That disaster, yes, I am familiar with it. What of your mother? Oh, wow, you just learned my dad's dead and you're asking me about my mother? I heard Colossians move fast, but that is a vicious stereotype that is accurate too often for me to wholly dismiss. Ah, it is the air of Carlos. It simply makes you believe in love. What can I say? A lot. You say it pretty well, too. Hey, bud. If you could somehow spend the time with Serena that you think she deserves and be on call in case Cynthia needs you to talk to Lance, would you do it? I'm not sure there's much worth in pursuing this fantasy side. I am quite simply one man with one lifetime. I have dedicated myself to one thing over another. I must prioritize. What's the Univin expression again? Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing. Crude, but truthful. Well, maybe it's not worth pursuing this fantasy. We might not be able to change anything, but I guess I'm not interested in what your true thoughts are. I'm just interested in what your true thoughts are. You're a really interesting guy, Calem. I've never seen someone with such a strong sense of responsibility, and you're putting aside your feelings to help other people. That's fine, I guess. But I don't want you to forget what they are. You know? I am unsure what I did to deserve this level of caring consideration, but I suppose that's the second time I've thought that. Very well. In a perfect world, a world where time is free and love is boundless, where I can give to everyone everything they need at no cost to myself, I suppose I would love it with all my reckless abandon. My nation, you, Serena, my art, my Pokemon, my parents, my... Sorry, what was the second one? Oh, you. Like, platonically. Sorry, my dear friend, this is not a conversation we should have. The would-haves and could-haves have no reason to be discussed when no actionable course can be followed to claim them. Sorry. Whatever for. I wasn't really properly respecting how you felt about the sacrifices you need to make. It was a lot easier to talk about this when I wasn't part of it. The abstract artist is often somewhat removed from his piece. All right, deep breaths. This man does have a way with words. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I gotta feel something. I mean, I just, because, look, listen to how he's talking. Of course, anybody would. Hey, let's move the conversation back to Serena, okay? As you wish. So, about where she's really from. Oh, yes, that. In retrospect, perhaps I should have seen the signs. Her Colossian accent has gotten a lot stronger toward the end of the time we knew each other, and she always had a strange store of knowledge that didn't seem to match the history she provided me. But love is blind, or so it's said, blind and a fool to boot. In a way, it's comforting, I suppose, that the woman I love so dearly doesn't actually exist. I can hardly lose her now. What? Come now, she told me she was a Colossian coordinator. Showed me forged educational transcripts, which I did not ask for. Of course, and had a tremendous interest in Colossian art scene. Given what has come out of her origins, I find it hard to believe that she knew of Edouard Monet for any reason but to get closer to me. Isn't that better? Okay, not lying about where she comes from or who she is part. I agree that was a bit crazy. But if she becomes this new person to be the perfect person for you, and it worked, then isn't that a sign you're perfect for each other? This Serena I knew was, but she is not the real Serena. I was incorrect. I do not blame her for lying. I blame myself for believing it. Besides, what would you have me do? Ask her to put on a show for the rest of her life? Hide that who she is. She may very well do it, but I would die before asking such a thing. Wow, this man is as freaking chivalrous to a T. Sigh, of all your attributes, I find myself appreciating your straightforward and earnest nature most. I doubt it escaped your attention that Serene and I have a habit, perhaps of overcomplicating matters. Maybe a little bit. And Lumois, one often gets lost without a map. I feel as though talking with you provides the same sense of self-relief, the sense of direction I've been lacking ever since the student council fiasco. My thoughts are far less muddied, and I think I can finally put the false romance far behind me. Now, at last, I can focus on my priorities as they exist now. Which are, Step 1. Continue to fulfill my campaign promises. Failure to win election is no excuse not to try my hardest. Step 2. Work hard as a Hopocon student and live an uncomplicated and uneventful school life until I graduate. Step 3. Make this baby of mine respect me, or possibly die trying. Either result will be a relief. Still having trouble there? So much? Quite likely any of the fairy types I grew up around. The fairiest type my foot. You know, sometimes small, young Pokemon refuse to evolve because they want to learn a move that'll make them take more time if they do evolve. Only way to snap them out of that is to make them stronger. I've got some time. I mean, for you. Want to train together? I would gladly take you up on that. My thanks as ever on many. Your heart evolved to Calem from friendship to map. Friend to map. Wow. I'm a map. I keep him on course. This man has a way with words, of course. Get it? All right. You guys already know what time it is. Oh, shit. No, I didn't want to find Ethan. That's not what I wanted to do. Wow, I fucked up this whole joke if I was about to do it. You know what time it is. We're going to hang out with the boy Brendan. I hope you guys are ready for that. I am too. I'm hyped to hang out. Brendan was the first homie. Like, literally, if you go back to my catalog of Pokemon Academy Live, Brendan was like that dude. So, let's see what he has as a rank-up quest. You're walking back to the main Academy building where you hear something echoing from the Contest Coliseum. That sounds like Brendan singing. What's he doing in there? Brendan singing? As you make your way through the winding, dusty hallways of the Contest Coliseum, decrepit and unimpressive despite its immense size, Brendan's voice echoes around you. Glory won in battle has a color pale, but what artistry is there in what lacks power but to ail? In pursuit of power, unending wholly mad, a family's love, a son's respect, every glory that you had was taken from you. Victim, powerless to keep your grasp, dismissing love and art and beauty as burdens from the past. I forgive you, Father. I beg that you forgive. For this descendant to ambition is no damn way to live. Whoa. Bars. Okay. Bars. Is he alright? Guess not. Whoa, look at his face. That man's pissed. Hey, Brendan. Oh, hey, bro. Guess you heard that. Kinda hard to miss. Ugh, sorry about that, man. My voice kinda carries. Not just your voice. I heard you pound that piano hard enough that May would be jealous. Not the time, man. Sorry. Wanna talk about it? It's just some family drama, bro. Don't worry about it. Brendan, if I could drag you into my drama, then you could definitely drag me into yours. Alright, bro. Thanks. Come on, sit down with me. I've been standing on that stage spitting on the microphone for way too long. Oh, that's how I heard you from outside. Nah, it's not plugged in. I was just really shouting. Whoa. Okay, I don't remember if I told you this, bro, but I'm originally from Johto. I'm not sure you ever told me directly, but you mentioned it to Calem, yeah. Well, my dad wanted to start a gym there, but the league was already full up. They denied his application over and over. So, this is gonna make him sound bad, but keep him open mind. He left my mom and I moved to Hoenn. That does sound bad. He didn't ghost us or abandon us or anything. He just literally left. I was just a kid at the time, so I didn't really get to know him until we moved to Hoenn ourselves when I was 11. You moved to Hoenn like he did? I mean, I knew you were from Hoenn, but now I'm wondering why. Did you move to Hoenn because your dad did, or did your mother move you, I guess? Yeah. Like I said, he didn't cut ties or anything. He just moved somewhere else, so we followed him a few years later. I was pretty angry at him, even though I'd never met him. Probably because I'd never met him, actually. So I was a bit of a brat. I tried to be everything he wasn't. Guy was a battler? Well, I'd do contests. Guy was plain and down to earth? I'd be fashionable, stand out, and reach for the stars. Brendan, I think we all have like a rebellious teenage phase, but yours kind of just sounds like it was a good thing. Yeah, it's easy to think that in retrospect, but I heard a lot of people besides him. I mean, it was my mom who had to put up with that for more than a decade. I refused to use Pokemon that looked tough, refused to even allow my clothes to get dirty. I'd do anything to be the opposite of him. Then we moved to Hoenn, and I kinda got it. What? Look, I'm not saying the guy is flawless, but it's really hard to stand out as a normal type gym leader. He always had to work twice, 3 times as hard as anyone else. The guy gave my mom and I most of what he earned at his job. He didn't want to cut ties. In fact, he wanted me to take over the gym. I mean, once I was old enough. But that didn't work out. He didn't want a coordinator running his gym after all that. Wasn't that, bro? Nah, the reason I didn't get the gym is I spent over a decade trying to avoid battling. Thinking about battling, doing anything that would involve battling. I suck, man. Kinda still do. I'm getting better at it. What? Come on, you got in the Cobocon. You can't be that bad. I'm as confused about that one as you are. I was pretty sure I'd blown the admittance exam. But even if I'm not great now, I really sucked when I was a kid. I mean, I was using ground type moves on flying types. That's how bad it was. We were both kind of surprised. I was surprised because I was a dumb kid and always thought not being a good battler was a choice. But yeah, it turns out you need to practice something to be good at it. You can't go out of your way to avoid doing something your entire life and secretly still be amazing at it. Who knew, right? You said your dad was surprised too. Yeah, he thought that all he needed to do was get his Brendan take over the gym fantasy fulfill was get through my teenage rebellion. Guess he also didn't really think this through. All these plans and counter plans, and we all forgot that I just needed to be good at battling in the first place. And that's how it's been for about 5 years. I'm just kind of all in one contest and he's disappointed, but you know, looking for other successes. He gave Wally his first Pokemon, the normal type Zigzagoon. He caught his Ralts with it. I don't know though, I don't think Wally's all that interested in the gym leader position. He's got something else going on. Something big, not sure what. That's the second time we heard some shit about Wally. Hey, we gotta be paying close attention about these characters, okay? They're all connected. I see. I guess there's just one question I have then. Yeah? Why were you singing an angsty power ballad to him 5 years after all this was supposed to be settled? Yeah. That, he's coming here. What? Really? Yeah. He wants to watch a contest I'm gonna participate in. For the first time. Ever. Bitch, look at Brendan's face! Oh my god! Is that not good? Man, you tell me. It took a lot to get over my dad issues, you know? Even with the therapy and junk. I accepted that I couldn't make him proud, that I couldn't even make him interested. But now he's showing up after years of not caring about what I'm actually good at. That pisses you off. It gives me hope, bro. Hope that I didn't need or what until I got this phone call 2 hours ago. But now I've got this hope and no amount of closure. I thought I could get rid of it, you know? I get you and I'm sorry, man. Hope sucks sometimes. Well, what are you gonna do? All I can do, I guess, just to the contest, do it really damn well. Win, obviously. Maybe winning will impress him. I mean, if he thinks I'm as bad at contests as I am battles, no wonder he's never been impressed. Heck, I'm not even sure he knows I can sew. Buddy, I seriously think you need to give yourself a bit more credit. You don't need to put in all this legwork here. He's your father. He should be trying harder to reach out to you. Brendan holds out his phone, shrugging. Bro, as of 2 hours ago, he kinda has. Okay, so yeah, that's great, but that's not everything. Based on what you just told me, he probably needs to do a lot more. Maybe. Not being good at something isn't something you need to apologize for. Whether it's taking tests or battling or, hell, I don't know, dancing. I'm great at dancing though. I don't doubt that, but if you were bad at it, I mean, you don't have any obligation to be good at anything, even the stuff your dad wants you to be. I know that, and I'm not trying to be good at battling. I mean, that ship sailed. But if I could show him how good I am at contests, if I could get him to understand contests are worth my time and are a kind of power themselves. Did I mention I was really okay without this hope? Sorry, man. Hope springs eternal, even when you don't want it to. Yeah, I guess. I should probably start thinking about what I'll do for the contest then. What do you mean? You're gonna win, right? Oh, for sure, but I need to figure out how I'm gonna win. I just can't put on a show-winning performance this time. I gotta put on a heart-winning one. Yeah, I'm gonna need to practice my tenor for this. Best way to crack the ice is with high notes. Alright, I feel good about this, actually. We're gonna be putting on a rocket performance. We'll knock my dad in the seat. Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate you being a sounding board for me. I appreciate you telling me about this, and I'm sure you'll put the best contest performance ever. Appreciate it, bro. Seriously. We're tight, right? Thick as thieves. Sick. Alright, I'm gonna head to the music room and get composing then. Godspeed. Brendan's father, huh? Sounds like a real piece of work. Yeah, his father does sound like a douchebag. A serious douchebag. Alright guys, again, 2 smashing freaking upgrades as we approach the freaking recent shits. Pretty much where we're gonna go. I don't know, the next episode or this, after this episode, the next episode might be the last before we get caught back up and doing the contest, the Millennium Water Drop Festival, guys. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys are still enjoying the series. I'm getting there. We're almost there. Be very patient. We're getting to the meat and potatoes. Thank you so much for being around. And thank you so much for hitting that like button because I know y'all did already. And make sure you subscribe and share with all your fellow Pokemon fanatics out there. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see all of you in the next one.